Good morning, my name is Brian Kelly and I run Trossachs Day Management Services. We're based just outside Callander, just off the A84, and we've got a full classroom facility that will take up to 20 people, and also the range that you're standing on just now. I've been involved in DMQ training for a good number of years now, but only last year I decided to start running DMQ 1 courses. We also cater for DMQ 2 and other types of firearms training which have been successful in the past here on this range. DMQ is quite an emotive subject with a lot of people. You see it on different forums, etc. But as far as I'm concerned, DMQ is the way ahead. If you think of other countries throughout Europe and further afield, actually America and all the rest of it, people that want to go and hunt animals, in our case deer mainly, they're not just turned loose with a rifle. They've got to do so, they've got to train, they've got to acquire the correct certification before they do that sort of thing. So I think it is very important and it is successful, and we all learn from it, let's face it, there's no doubt about that. Okay, so here we are at the target end then. As far as the shooting assessment is concerned for the Day Management Qualification, the candidates have got to pass this shooting assessment. It's in 2 phases. The first phase involves these 3, what I call zeroing targets at the top, and the second phase is on to the deer target. To get to the deer target, you've got to first be successful on the zeroing targets. And what happens is the guys will be loaded with 3 rounds at 100 metres in the prone position, and when they've been told to go ahead, they'll fire 3 rounds at the top left-hand target. And the idea being that the 3 rounds have got to at least break the outside line, but hopefully all be within that 4-inch. If a guy pulls a shot, then he gets reloaded with another 3 rounds and he goes on to the middle zeroing target. Exactly the same drill, he'll fire 3 rounds and the idea is to get them all in. If there's one out again, then he gets his last chance and he's on to his 3rd zeroing target. Exactly the same practice, 3 rounds. Now let's say that the guy has fired his 3 rounds and he's been successful straight away. He's got his first 3 rounds in. That is him. He doesn't bother firing on any of these other 2. He stays where he is at a 100-metre point, and this time he loads up with 2 rounds of ammunition. And from that prone position, he will fire 2 rounds into the deer target. It's supposed to be an 8 inches from side to side, basically a circle. So the guy fires his 2 rounds from 100. He is then unloaded, made clear, and he moves down to 70 metres. From 70 metres, a guy will adopt either the kneeling or the sitting supported position, and once he's been given the go-ahead, he will fire his second 2 rounds at that target area there. When he's fired those 2 rounds, it will be unloaded again and moved down to 40 metres. And from 40 metres, he will adopt the standing supported position of sticks, and when he's been given the go-ahead, he will fire his last 2 rounds. The idea being, when he's unloaded after completing the 40-metre shoot, we move down to the target area, and there needs to be 6 rounds within that scoring circle or breaking the line. If 1 shot has been pulled, then the guy has got to go back and do this whole practice again. So he starts from 100, fires 2, then down to 70, fires 2, then down to 40 and fires his last 2. These are not checked during the whole practice until the guy has fired his 6 rounds. That is when you come and have a look to see how he's got on. To achieve the Deer Stalking Certificate Level 1 qualification, all students have got to successfully complete 5 different elements of the course. These are shooting. We dealt with the shooting yesterday, so we'll just move straight on. Meat hygiene. It's very important that all students understand the importance of handling carcasses correctly and making sure that they know how to look after and clean their equipment, etc. So that at the end of the day, we are producing a quality food into the public domain. There's a bank of 300 questions which the guys will study, and as far as the assessment is concerned, any 50 of those 300 questions can be picked, and there's obviously a percentage score that they've got to achieve to successfully complete that paper. There is deer identification. We spend a lot of time, we've got hundreds of slides in there, and we make sure that the guys fully understand the differences between the 6 species in Britain, the characteristics, and once again, they've got to complete successfully an assessment on that. Not only have they got to identify what species of deer it is, but also the sex of the deer. And the very last thing that they've got to complete is the safety element of it. There's a bank of questions which they also study for throughout the duration of the 2.5-day course. But there is a practical side to this as well, whereby they are taken out one at a time with all their equipment. It's basically a dry stock, there's no live ammunition involved, and they're walked through an area, and it's up to them to first of all spot and identify silhouettes of different deer that are placed out. They then have to decide and explain to the likes of myself whether they, in their opinion, it's a safe shot, whether they would take that shot, whether the beast's in season, etc. We also expect them to be able to fully understand the safety involved in crossing obstacles and other things that we throw in as well. But there's 10 questions and they've got to once again get that correct, because it's the safety side.